All right, stimulus check round two. Is there a second stimulus check on the horizon? There is, but it hasn't been approved. This video is going to discuss with you why you should not be dependent upon thinking that that stimulus check round two is going to be approved, and why you should focus instead on PUA. As always, comment below if you have any questions. All right, the stimulus check. If you've received the stimulus check and you're wondering whether there's a second one, there could be, and there's a lot of talk out there. But it is, for all regards, a lot of hot air. We tell you the good and we tell you the bad. The bad is, at the moment, there's a lot of proposals out of there. There's a lot of people making videos that are telling you all this great sums of money you're going to get, but they're all proposals that are not even on vote before members of Congress. There is one proposal that says a $2,000 check every 6 weeks. $12,000 coming your way. There's one stimulus check proposal that says it's going to include money specifically for landlords. There's another stimulus check that says people get a lump sum over several months to cover them for much of 2020. A lot of people making videos to indicate all this to you as though it's some great sum of things that coming your way. Don't believe it. This video is going to tell you what you should be doing and what you shouldn't. You should have been doing, if you are a self-employed or independent contractor, applying for PUA today, April 28th. PUA is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Plan that provides, in many cases, a lot more money than a stimulus check. How much does PUA pay? PUA can pay as much as $900 per week. How is it calculated? As we've discussed in a previous video from today, PUA is a very elaborate process, but the calculation amount of benefits is not. It's a relatively simple idea. Basically, PUA is dependent upon how much you made in 2019. If you look at your 2019 IRS tax return and you look at the top section, if you made more than approximately $30,000 per year, you are at max benefits. Max benefits for your state, you can look up online, but it's generally about $300 per week. The federal government, under the CARES Act, throws $600 on top of that from the period from February to July. So if you're at max benefits because you made $20,000, $30,000 or more last year, you will get $300 plus $600, $900 per week each week, which is a lot more money than a stimulus check. Now, let's say you got less than $30,000 in 2019. Don't worry, because in many cases, because then they start you with PUA approval at base level. PUA, which is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Plan, when approved, approves you at the base unemployment number of your state. It's generally about $169, $139 per week. Again, the CARES Act throws in $600 on top of that every week. So in the worst case scenario, if you apply for PUA and you qualify and you're approved, you will see payments of $169 plus $600 per week from a prescribed period to July. And how many weeks can you get that money? Basically, unlike a stimulus check that comes one time, and that is the one time you get it, if you were impacted because of coronavirus over a period of many, many weeks, you, once approved for PUA, go back into the PUA website, which I'm going to address in a second, and update them and say you request benefits for that additional week. The way the PUA process works is when you go to your state's unemployment website, you go in there and apply. And we have a whole video that's over 10 minutes below that explains more about this. But once your PUA application is approved by your state in its state unemployment website, then each week you go into the website and update them whether you are still impacted because of coronavirus. Basically, how are you reduced from full capacity to limited capacity or no capacity? You're not working at all because of COVID-19. If that's true, you indicate to them and they will pay you benefits for your benefit amount for that week. The next week you do the same thing. So you keep on repeating this process. Under the CARES Act, you get that $600 thrown on top of your $169 or $139 base level every week all the way into the month of July. After July, the $600 is no longer provided under the current version of the CARES Act. Maybe they add it, maybe they don't thereafter. But in the current version of the CARES Act, the $600 supplement falls off in July, and then you get that base level. How long can you get the base level? If you are still impacted because of coronavirus, because of COVID-19, after July, you continue to get your base benefits every single week, so long as you go back into the website and indicate you're impacted because of coronavirus. It's a lot more money than a $1,200 check. So why are people sitting around talking about a $1,200 check so much, or a second stimulus check that no one has approved? PUA has been approved. Do you qualify for PUA? And we've done this in another video. We're not going to go over it here, but generally, PUA is for anyone who is self-employed. Now, if you're not self-employed, if you're just normally employed and you lost your job because of coronavirus, or you were reduced in the amount of hours because of coronavirus, you apply at the same place and you get the same amount of money. PUA is basically a term, an add-on that was approved for the CARES Act for people that are self-employed. But people who are employed through a company get the same benefits. In some cases, and we've discussed this before, in some cases, in some states, you have to apply for normal insurance benefits and be denied because you're actually self-employed or an independent contractor, and then you can apply for PUA. But the bottom line, and the most important thing this video is telling you, is that you should not sit around for a second stimulus check. You should not watch lots of videos telling you there's going to be a $2,000 stimulus check, or six $2,000 stimulus checks, or $20,000 of stimulus checks. You know, you can also look at a Rolls Royce in a window that you're not going to get. This is just a lot of bait and clickbait, because it's stuff that's just not happening. PUA is happening. Unemployment benefits is happening. It's now, and you have to apply now. Now, here's the bad news, and there's always something bad in these videos. Here's the bad news. The way unemployment and PUA works is you have to put your application in ASAP, because the moment you claim you're impacted is the moment they start paying the benefits. And it's not supposed to be that way, but that's the way it is. So if you lost your job, or you were impacted because of coronavirus in March, and you're watching this video in April, and you go to the website and say, hey, I've been impacted since March, tough luck, according to most, if not all, state unemployment websites. They say that, yeah, you may have been impacted in March, but you should have told us in March. You're telling us in April. The bottom line is that when that happens, you get benefits from the moment you tell them you're impacted. On the flip side, you've watched this video today, and now you know if you've been impacted because of coronavirus, whether you're employed, whether you were employed as an employee, as a W-2 at a company, or whether you were self-employed, you need to go to that state website right after this video and apply for a claim right then. Lastly, and this is sort of an issue of nuance in some states, especially in the Midwest, you have to apply for normal unemployment insurance and be denied because you're an independent contractor or self-employed before applying for PUA, which is sort of like, okay, I have to apply to be denied to get PUA. It's just a lot of, I got to do this and this and this. The bottom line is, you have to start the claim process, because they will look at the first time you contact them, and they will use that date. And based upon that date, that is the first date that you can get benefits paid to you. Had we done this video for you in March, you could have gotten benefits in March, but here we are in April. The bad thing about PUA, and it's a little bit confusing, and we're fully going to admit it, it's contradictory. PUA says they're supposed to pay benefits retroactively into February, but states aren't following that. They're saying that, hey, if you told us about PUA on April 28th, because that's when it went live, you're getting benefits from April 28th forward. You're not getting them back. And that's how it is. So second stimulus check doesn't exist. Second round of stimulus check doesn't exist. You can watch his 50, 70 videos that all talk about maybe it's coming and maybe it's going, with a guy holding up a picture of this big amount of money. Hey, we ain't going to do that. We ain't going to give you clickbait. We ain't going to tell you about something that hasn't been approved, that somebody's voting on. We're going to tell you something that gets you money now, because we tell you stuff that is useful to you now. And all these things are time element. You got to get them done ASAP, because if you don't get money that week. Whether it's PUA, stimulus check, proposed stimulus check, PPP, we're here to inform you about anything that's on the horizon here or now. If you have comments, put them below. We respond to comments very, very quickly all throughout the day. Stay with LALATE for more.